night is fading fast. From this old town we gotta go. Our bags are packed, so what we waiting for? There's no point in delaying what we both already know. Escape this time with me. Escape this time with me. We could rent a room and watch the stars dance round the moon.
So we are deep in the Scottish Highlands and there is an absolutely huge storm going to hit us today. So we need to get resupplied and take shelter. But first, we need to get the levelling blocks back on the roof and then get out of here. So let's go.
This is always what we try and run from, is the wet and the mud, because the van looks like carnage. So don't judge us. It'll be clean for about 5 minutes later.
Nowhere else to be. Escape this time with me. Escape this time with me. Escape this time with me. Nowhere else to be. Escape this time with me.
We're currently heading north, deeper into the Highlands. We're on the A87, which connects Inverness to the Isle of Skye, going east to west. The rain has been relentless, but the storm hasn't even peaked yet. We're looking at potentially winds of up to 100 miles an hour. So it's going to be a crazy night in the van. So we're aiming for a small Highland village called Plockton, and the reason why we've picked this is it has a small fishing port and the car park is east facing. This means hopefully with the westerly winds we should be a little bit protected. So first impressions of Plockton, it's beautiful. The very northwest of Scotland has always seemed to escape us, so we're so excited to finally explore it properly. We're going to go find a local watering hole because it's Friday night, and then come back and touch base when the storm hits, if it hits, because I mean there's a bit of blue sky up there, so who knows what's going on. Well, quite clearly the storm arrived, and yeah, I think I'm going to put a change of clothes on. I am seriously wet. I hope it doesn't get much worse than this. So a wild night here in Plockton. The power went off not long after we got back to the van last night, which means no phone reception, nothing's open, but at least we've got our Starlink to keep us connected. At one stage last night, the boat that's parked next to us, I honestly thought it was going to roll down the ramp and we'd have to start rescuing it because it just moves so much, but luckily it did hold. We're just about to leave and head over to Skye and notice that water's pouring all over the floor. So not exactly conditions I'd like to get under the van, but I guess I haven't got a choice. Let's find out what's going on. So it's like being back in the Arctic. Yoga mat to do work under the van. We find them super useful, just waterproof, and it just means that you can stay relatively dry and clean. But yeah, I think there's another wave of rain on the way, so I better get on. Blow it. So I can see the actual compression connection has just completely come off the joint onto the tank, so I've got to just peel the insulation back and reconnect it, so do it quickly. So there it is in there. Basically the tank had slightly come loose on these brackets and the tank had come backwards, pulling the pipe completely out of the waste joint. So I've had to just open up all the insulation that's there for the Arctic and the winter periods, but it looks like it's back on. Hands are cut to shreds, but I'm just pleased that's over with.
So we've had a lovely morning here today. It's been really quiet, and actually it's quite surprising considering it is the northwest. We were expecting it to be much busier, but most of the time it's just been us here this morning. The only people we have had visits from, which actually has been really nice seeing as we have been able to park here, is a lot of the locals and people visiting, because nobody can boil kettles, nobody can get hot water, all that good stuff. So we've been using our kettle and putting that to good use, filling a fair few flasks, and it's quite nice if we're able to park here, doing our bit to help everyone else out.
Right, so that's us heading to Skye now, finally, after the issue with the waste under the van. We're just noticing the aftermath of the storm, all the trees that have come down. One back there had literally obliterated the lamppost, so it'd be interesting to see what carnage we've got along the way. Ordinarily, you'd find us in the middle of nowhere, but as the weather's pretty rubbish, we're going to make full use of having some watering holes, and we're going to go find one on Skye and hopefully get another cold, creamy pint of Guinness. So it must be a serious power outage because we've just driven all the way from Plockton to almost at the Skye Bridge and we haven't seen any lights on yet. You can see through the windows people have got their coats and hats on because none of the central heating will be working either. So we might find we'll get to Skye and the power's off there, and actually, to be fair, looking across the water, it all looks very dark over there. So find out in a minute. So we've made it across the Skye. There was actually a sign up saying the bridge was closed to high-sided vehicles, so we stopped and watched another camper that was a similar size go over, and they were okay, so we thought we'll give it a try. It wasn't that bad, to be fair, but we're over, and still there's no sign of any life in the form of any lighting in any of the windows, so we don't think there's any power, and actually there's no phone reception showing on the phone, so I would assume that Skye has also been cut off. So not sure what watering hole we think we're going to find that's open, but we'll go and have a look anyway. So the power on Skye is very much still off. There's a really nice hotel bar when we stayed at a hotel previously that we wanted to go to, but yeah, sadly it's closed. But we've just heard that the power is back on in Plockton, so we're going to head back over the bridge onto mainland and get back to our little spot in Plockton.
You can change your mind. It's like the ocean, moving over time, however slowly. You can change your mind. It's like the ocean.
We've absolutely loved it here. It's been beautiful and it's been so peaceful, after the storm at least, but the tide is super far out, so it's been really nice to walk down the jetties, have a little mooch about, but no, definitely a winner here.
What a place this has been, honestly. I think we've absolutely fallen in love with it. I just cannot believe how quiet it is. You know, it's the beginning of October. Fair enough, the weather has been dreadful, but there's barely been any other campers here, maybe one or two, and now it's completely cleared out. We're going to hit the NC 500 today. It's not normally the type of place that we'd go to, but you can't avoid it coming to Scotland. So we're hoping to tackle the infamous Applecross Pass. So it'd be nice to get a couple of decent drone shots of that, but it just depends if it's going to be rammed full of campers. So let's go and find out. So that's us making our way to the Applecross Pass, known for its spectacular views. The only issue with today is visibility has disappeared. I'm pretty sure our weather window is over. And then from there, we're going to find out whether wild camping on the NC 500 is even still possible. But all's not lost. What Scottish adventure wouldn't be complete without an iron brew? They got their washing out. They've got their washing out. Why have they got their washing out?
I'm more interested in what your thoughts are on iron brew.
Surprisingly, it tastes a lot like those iron brew sweets. Well, the visibility may be poor, but what we can see is absolutely incredible. Well, that was the Applecross Pass. We've only gone up and then come back down the same way. we didn't fancy going all the way into Applecross only to come back again when there's not much visibility up there. So we'll save that for another time, but what an incredible place. I mean, we were just catching the deer up at the top. It was amazing. All we've got to do now is try and find somewhere to camp for the night, and being on the NC 500, we've got no idea how that's going to pan out. So this is the first time we've ever driven this area in Scotland on the NC 500. You know, we've heard about it for years, how popular it's become, and we can absolutely see why. We just cannot believe that this is in the UK. It is stunning, and we've pretty much got it all to ourselves. We're just trying to figure out why it's getting so dark, because the clouds don't look that dark really, and it's only 5:30. The sun's not due to set for a couple of hours, so but either way, we're just in absolute awe, just looking out the window and just admiring just how beautiful it all is. Well, we found this place on the river. There's a little honesty box, and yeah, this is pretty spectacular. I think the dogs are loving being out. We've done a lot of driving today, but this will absolutely do for tonight.
Wait, so this is a lovely little find. Oh, it's just, well, I don't know how we would have found it other than on Park for Night, because it's in the middle of absolutely nowhere. But it's an honesty box, so we're always happy to put some money in and just to have somewhere as incredible as this. But what perfect evening to finish the weekend. I think we're going to hopefully sit outside for a little bit, but no, this is spot on.
Well, it looks like someone's been stuck trying to get out of here. Exactly why we wanted the 4x4. You know, you don't need to be going on those gnarly off-road routes. It is simply to get out of a grassy patch. And yeah, hopefully I'm not eating my words when we try and get out of here in a few days.
It's not for you. Go. Let's go. So Bear is an absolute sucker for a scratch at the best of times. And I thought I knew all of his favourite spots, but I think we've just discovered a new one.
So if this is what the northwest of Scotland has to offer, then I cannot wait to see what's next. Plockton on the port, then we had Applecross earlier today, and now this gem. This is just unreal. And to find all this in the UK is blowing us away. It is just amazing. So let's see what happens next.
You can change your mind. It's like the ocean.